myself, guys. I'm digging in. I'm getting ready for whatever. It's good. Just like I'm getting ready for whatever. So that's what I feel like. It's anything could happen in the market right now. It's just like I'm getting ready to go put the financial news on. If I was to just go from my natural instinct, I would still feel like all the indexes is down just from what I'm seeing in the movement. I haven't watched any market news today. Not I haven't heard anything outside of what the Fibonacci is currently showing me. That's it from what the Fibonacci is showing me. It's just like, now, let's see if I know my stuff. Let's see what's down. Let's see what's up. Let's see.
You own crypto, but do you really own it? For many users, your tokens sit in some company's account. They decide how much you can withdraw, and if you can.
50 cent shots at Jim Charmaine on amp. Everybody could Word. Oh man. The boo turned out to be a mess, didn't he? What 50 Cent? That's boo boo, nigga. Motherfuckers don't be wanting people to go back to them nicknames. They don't want to be black.
They said the case would be presented on Tuesday to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for filing consideration. As of now, county prosecutors have not formally filed charges. Lauren Johnson Norris, a criminal defense attorney, explained what happens next.
Reiner will remain in custody while charges are being evaluated by the district attorney. And they'll be looking at what evidence supports what mindset or mental state in order to decide what charge to bring, be it a first-degree murder or a less serious count. Now, once the district attorney reviews the evidence and makes that charge, they will file it with the court, and then he will.
Wow, that's crazy. That man killed
Group and Goldman Sachs research overall, we've absolutely overweight the U.S.
Every index is down. I told y'all before I even looked at the market, I could just know from what the Fibonacci was
markets
showing.
and all of the sort of positive, sort of more economic data that I shared with you earlier in the program. So we continue to favor U.S. Clearly, international markets have done well this year, and I know Ashok spoke about this too, a little bit of the pressure on the dollar with investing, in other regions. But I think we still see clients investing their core equity exposure in the U.S. And that's true even for some of our international clients that really like to have outside exposure to the U.S. And I think particularly the AI theme, which continues to be a theme beyond the Mag 7. The U.S. markets is where you want to be.
It's going to be fascinating to see how that rolls into 26 as well. Sarah,
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. All right, I guess we had you.
Sarah.
All right. I really
So that's
appreciate
how
the
you
people
know
in
when
my
you
office that we
vibrating
don't
with the
always
market.
do
I
as someone who
said
runs those
before I even
businesses.
turned on any
Mover today,
news
Kraft Heinz
that from what the
announcing
Fibonacci is
Nova
showing me,
CEO,
the market is
Kellogg
down.
CEO Steve Cahillane will
Macy's
become
dropped $2
CEO
from
of
24
Kraft
to
Heinz on January 1.
22.
That's ahead of
I
Kraft
sold that shit at
into two
$24.
companies, which is
I was
expected to
like,
finalize
I
next year.
trade.
We
It's
spoke
going
to
down. Well, I'll
CEO Steve
sell it in
Cahillane
all.
last
And while it's $24 a share, I knew it was going down. It went down $2. Macy's is a stock that I'm going to own long term, but right now I'm trading. And what I see coming is, in my opinion, I'm just shoring up my portfolio, and I'm just, looking at these stocks that I feel are the high quality stocks that's going that are making people wealthy. I need those stocks that are making people wealthy, and I can always get back into my specs. They're not gonna run up that fast before. We get those D waves and those Vegetas, but it took some time. It took some time. It took a year. It took 6 months. It took 6 months to a year. So, sitting holding thousands of dollars in speculation stocks. I made some profit off of them. I made some profit and take that profit. Shit, and some of them, let me take them losses. You know what I'm saying? And get that money invested where it'll recoup itself, because I'm putting it into a high quality stock that's gonna give me the returns that I need. We don't love no stocks. We ain't attached to nothing. We ain't attached to nothing. Sometimes I'm just gonna get some value back before I'm gonna let some shit go back up before I pull out of it. I ain't caught up with some shit. You got to hold for a minute, cuz.
Way back when, putting Kraft and Heinz together, different parts of the grocery store. Without a doubt, one of his worst deals in terms of certainly a core holding of a public company. I mean, I think Warren himself will talk about some of his misses over the years. The first of which he'll always tell you is buying literally Berkshire Hathaway, which was a textile company that went bust. But yeah, in terms of, I think making a big fuss in saying I'm an anchor investor in a large public company, and then having to sort of write that down is a huge mess.
Yeah, remember, that was the time where everybody was raving about 3G capital and zero-based budgeting, and that was the way of the future, and then
It was absolutely a bet on you can get these types of businesses to sort of a higher performance level, but also I think it was a reflection of Buffett's key insight, which is that things like Coca-Cola, which
I like the fact that my portfolio was up 4.2% while the market is down. You know what I'm saying? We are 4.2% while all the indexes is down.
for a few years, but this year too. I mean, the group is only up 3%, and it does have some of the winners in there on the year, which is why it's kind of
including Walmart, actually.
That's cool. That's cool to be up 4.10% while the market is down. This may not seem like much, but to be up, while the market is down, it's a blessing. Me, myself,
Which had a lot of secular reasons why it should never actually go
off
of that really depressed level, and did in the last.
If April was like, some type of indication if April was some type of indication of what can happen, what's to come. Sheesh,
Sarah, got another mover to watch today, and that is Pfizer falling after announcing its 2026 guidance. Our Annika Kim Constantino has some details, as the market didn't appreciate much what we got for the new year, Annika.
That's right, Carl. So Pfizer today issuing a modest 2026 guidance. saying it expects sales to come in between 59.5 billion to 62.5 billion, and that's roughly in line with the street, but largely flat compared to the 62 billion in sales that it expects for 2025. And in terms of its profit guidance, it came in slightly below what the street was expecting at $2.80 to $3 per share. And the main takeaway of today is that Pfizer is still experiencing some growing pains here, especially after the record revenue that we saw during the COVID pandemic. And so the company pointed to those COVID products today, saying that it expects them to rake in $1.5 billion less in 2026 compared to 2025. And they also pointed to an additional $1.5 billion revenue hit from upcoming patent expirations of older drugs. But the analysts I talked to say that the guidance isn't completely surprising today because it does reflect some
That's what I like watching shit on Trade View.
such as BBC Biotech Metsera. And also, these analysts say that a lot of these COVID headwinds that we're seeing are going to be at least partially offset by the more than $7 billion cost savings that Pfizer is targeting for 2027. So the company is definitely trying to work past these revenue declines right now.
Yeah, the COVID weakness, the deal dilution, still red through the year. I appreciate that, Annika. Thank you. We'll see if we get bleed over to some other names. When we come back, the next potential threat to the AI trade, lawmakers now sending letters to big tech companies investigating how the growing need for data centers might drive up residential electricity bills. We'll be back in a minute.
Here at Renewal by Anderson, you can replace your windows and doors right now.
That
For
is,
this month only,
that
we are the
is,
marketing everyone wants. Top
let's
three
go to a
answers on
5-year
board.
chart on the
Show me
VIX.
no
That is just
down.
security
Show me no monthly payments.
against
Show me no interest.
the market.
This month you get all three for an entire
You did.
year. Good luck finding that anywhere else.
It's true.
And you know what else is true? Anderson is the #1 trusted window and door brand in the United States. And trust is everything. Renewal by Anderson has earned this trust by standing behind each job with the nation's best warranty. Our windows simply last longer, and we know it. How? Because we build them and we install them. Here at Renewal by Anderson, we value homegrown talent. Your local design consultants, measure technicians, certified master installers, and customer service team are all going to give you the best home improvement experience you've ever had. But let's be clear, you're not going to get these at a big box store. Even contractors can't get them. The only way you're going to get true Renewal by Anderson windows and doors is by contacting us directly. We take care of everything from start to finish. And the best part is all included in one price. You know you want them. You know your house needs them. Before December 31st, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, and get the next one 40% off. That's a 40% off. Plus, get an extra $200 off your entire project with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 12 months. Call today to schedule your appointment. Don't wait. 1-800-918-0808.
Weeknights, Thursday after President, base rates are still way too high. And Hill point cheap house replacement. We don't even need to play the guessing game about how many more cuts we're gonna get.
Back Money, weeknight 6 Eastern, and streaming on CNBC Plus.
Big corner. Any respect for that. Nigga.
I'm okay. Oh, we just saved the holiday spirit. I'm okay. Carry on. Shop Aldi first. Save money. And save the holidays.
Check the heck. We keep flying
The
around.
Monopoly Valley is
See,
the
I did
largest
my Shaolin.
in the state of Hawaii. Because of spectrum during the
Stop playing with me. We gonna be dead. You know what I mean? Damn it.
Many of our participants don't have computers at home.
Send me breathe. Shaolin breath so I could come strike real fast so that motherfucker could die. Yeah. Man. And keep buzzing around me and all that bullshit. But wash my hands.
Sponsored by Comcast
Grab
Business,
some.
powering
Just like that.
possibilities.
flies be thinking they probably quicker than the average and not a shot in the tree.
Three Democratic senators, Elizabeth Warren, Chris Van Hollen, and Richard Blumenthal, are investigating big tech's role in rising power costs. Deirdre Bosa is digging into that in today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, morning, Carl. So this opens up a new front of risk for the AI trade. Wall Street, yes, it's already started pricing in the financial side of the AI buildup, but what is not yet priced in is the
fucking Ohio. It's cold as hell in my apartment. The heat on 81. Sheesh. I need a computer like toy trades. I need to get my desktop back. Man, in my bed up under the couch.
With government estimates showing that could triple to 12% by 2028, driving utility investments that get passed through to ratepayers. Now, the blowback is not just happening in Washington. In Arizona last week, city officials unanimously rejected a proposed AI data center. In New Jersey and Virginia, rising electricity prices played roles in statewide races. Now, all of this matters because it ties AI infrastructure costs directly to inflation, still the most sensitive voter issue. Power bills are tangible in a way that cloud capex is not, and that political pressure, that can raise costs fast. By the way, there's no White House backstop. President Trump's executive order targeting state rules on AI models, it does not preempt state or local regulation of data centers or power use. Now, that means that this fight stays at that level where power bills and land zoning, those matter the most. So rising political costs, it would also hit the AI trade at a sensitive moment. As we know, investors, they're already pushing for more discipline and a clear path from spend to revenue. And then there's also China. We've shown this chart to you before. Electricity generation there continues to rise while U.S. output is flat to down. So if AI is a race of compute and power, China has a structural advantage. It can build without asking permission. Now, the White House knows this is the bottleneck. NEC Director Kevin Hassett was on our air earlier, and he admitted that China's edge right now is power, but he said that Washington thinks it can close the gap. Now, guys, the markets will find out if that can happen fast enough.
Yeah, we're going to talk to the mayor of Chandler, Arizona, which you mentioned tomorrow on the show. Deirdre, I guess the question for these local politicians is, yes, high electricity costs. On the other hand, they wanted to attract factory production, construction work, jobs, and data centers is where everybody's investing in that right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that this really shows you, especially with the letter this morning, that this is becoming a political issue, one that we're certainly going to see in the lead up to the midterms and the next presidential election, by tying sort of the data center build out to inflation, which is what the senators did in that letter, makes it a voter issue and, you know, can kind of win you some on the other side. Like you said, you're going to be talking to a local policymaker in Arizona. I think that there's going to be more and more calls for this. It is a tricky balance, right? The jobs and the build out, which can bring economic prosperity to what users are feeling. And it's not just the build out, right? AI, as it becomes more and more a part of our lives, these chatbots, we see what can go wrong. That blowback is only going to increase, and data centers can be, you know, this perfect target.
Yeah, also feeds right into the question about where data center spending goes in 2026. Deirdre, thank you. Deirdre Bosa. Carl, final thoughts from Goldman after talking to some of their top people in both private, public markets. Feels like they're pretty bullish in the U.S.
Yeah, and what's I think remarkable, at least to me, is just how steady that bullishness has been throughout the course of the year, even sort of the mid hiccups in the spring, or even the worries about valuations in the late summer, let's say. They're holding pretty steady. I mean, they're above consensus on GDP. Obviously, we talked to them a lot about equities, but it's hard to find many chinks in the armor in their view, and it doesn't sound like they're necessarily on the lookout for stuff either.
Yeah, pushing back against some of the sort of overinflated AI bubble kind of talk that's been out there in the market as well. Carl will see you back here tomorrow, of course, at Post 9. As we watch the S&P sold off 0.3%. Next big data point comes Thursday. We'll get an inflation report on CPI after jobs today. But that, I'll send it over to Scott and the halftime report.
And welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Scott Wagner, front and center this hour. The state of stocks, as one firm today says, investors are more bullish than they've been in many years. We'll discuss and debate the markets with the investment committee, as always. Joining me for the hour today, Joe Terranova, Stephanie Link, Malcolm Etheridge along in just a moment. Let's go to the market.
The New York Composite down. The Russell 1000 down.
So, Joe, the jobs print
The
was
Russell
slightly better than
2000
expected.
down.
The unemployment rate, though, 4.6. That's got people a little uneasy. The 2-year yield is down.
And
Why?
every index
Because it's
is
anticipating
down.
the Fed and rate cuts. And I mentioned at the top here about
That's the beautiful thing about it. It's just that the stock's not looking bad, but they would be way up then probably. It's like, man.
But nonetheless, so you've got, the market doesn't look great. There's some questions, around, but yet fund managers are bullish as heck.
All right, so there's a lot there. Let's first talk about how the market looks, because it's interesting, and I'll probably regret saying this, but I think
What's good? What's good? Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit the like button. You know, gotta. It's a job.
Through the remainder of the week and attempt to restart the Santa Claus rally. As it relates to unemployment, yes, it's troubling to see it at 4.6%. But understand, there is a response, if needed, from the Federal Reserve, in particular knowing that the dynamics surrounding how the composition of that Federal Reserve Board with a new chairperson is going to look in 2026. So I'm not ultimately that concerned there. As I look into 26, I do see overwhelming bullishness. And the overwhelming bullishness is really not concentrated specifically towards technology. It is bullish when you look geographically.
I don't know about all that bullishness.
It's bullish about the other 490.
Everybody was all bullish when April happened.
That's why I think
I personally think, I don't know. I personally think that I'm loading up on the VIX in case something go
I
wrong.
think the price action of the last several weeks is telegraphing that.
When the VIX, so listen, when the market goes, down, the VIX goes up. When the market goes down, the VIX volatility index goes up. Ticker symbol VXX. And just in my opinion, you should just own shares of the VIX just for your own security. And like, the reason I'm like, okay, what's going on? The VIX, you could be bullish. You could say, oh shit, the VIX is way low. That means the market must be about to soar. Man, that could be a fake out move. I'm gonna grab as many shares of the VIX as I can while it's this low, just to hold them shits.
Appreciating how strong it was. It was. It still is, though. And so I understand why people can be excited. Maybe it takes a little bit of time for people to.
When the market crashed in 2000, when the market crashed in 2022, y'all, the VIX got up to about $4,000 a share. The VIX is like $29 a share right now. But when the market crashed, go look this up. When the market crashed in 2022, the VIX, ticker symbol VXX, hit about $4,000 a share. So, in my opinion, 100 shares of the VIX is a security blanket in any downturn. In the worst downturn, 100 shares of VIX. If the VIX ever went to $4,000 a share again, and you got 100 shares, what's that? You know what I mean? Like 400,000.
Who joins us from DC is finding out around holiday season in New York City. Good to have you at the desk.
No.
Now you know what we're talking about. Talking about holiday traffic in Manhattan. So how do you square the tension?
Damn, I'm about to do something crazy. That just made me do something. I'm about to do something crazy. Watch this.
One that, gosh, it feels like it's almost hard to get a handle on because of the tremendous gains in productivity we're going to get from AI, and trying to understand how that.
Like and subscribe, Sartorio Hector. Stock market savage, Cleveland record producer. I'm a self-taught investor. And you know, the goal is $1 million portfolio. And, you know, the portfolio is down right now. I can't even day trade, man. But, I'm not tripping. You did.
Because to your point,
I'm not really
the
tripping,
cash
y'all.
levels in that survey being at about 3%.
You know, we on a mission to build this portfolio, and we down right now, but we'll be back up. We'll be back up, trust me. One thing for sure, two things for certain, like, I'm locked in to this life.
Unemployment was staying 3%.
I'm locked in to my goals and to my
We're
objectives.
also able to hang our hats coming into 2024,
Feel me?
2025.
And,
The investments into AI aren't going to hurt us because these companies at the
we're
forefront
gonna
of
do this.
building
We're
are
gonna
doing
continue
it
to
using
do
their
this.
free cash
We're
flow.
gonna trade with caution and trade
Now
with
there's cracks in that
confidence.
story as well. Taken together, it sounds like everyone at the party.
The market about to go crazy the rest of the week. I feel like it's about to be dumb up because I think people understand. Like you gotta own the stocks. This build out is gonna happen. How it's gonna play out? This is why I'm in my scriptures. This is why I'm back reading the Bible, the Quran. Like I say, I want to find me a Torah. But this build out with technology is going to happen. Do you understand how far technology has already come? Technology is already on another level. Listen, y'all, look at this. Look how far technology has already come, man. I'll be showing y'all this for a reason. Look.
Responded by, saying really the thematic.
When I was a little child, it was no such thing as color TV, bro. When I was 8, 9 years old, I had a black and white TV in my room. It was color TV, but when TV first came out, it wasn't no color TV. When we had a color TV, I still had a black and white TV. They don't even make black and white TVs no more. So, I think, come on. Technology has spread so fast, y'all. And so, it's almost like we living in the last days. We living in the last days. Look at this book, how my ancestors.
I have been celebrating retail this year. The retail investor has gotten the trades right. Deep Sea bought the dip. Tariff Day bought the dip. Sell off throughout the summer bought the dip.
Hey, everything almost has been bought the dip. If we go all the way back to the Deep Sea time until now, the chart doesn't lie.
1930.
What looks to be a V-shaped recovery at every bit of upset within the market. It's been one of the most unique characteristics of the past 18 months. Every bit of market angst and upset has been bought, and it's been the right move.
And to this point, it's been the right move. So what I'm focused on now is Bitcoin that's been selling off the last couple of months. We've seen that trade from like 126 or so all the way down into the mid 80s. That to me is more of a gauge on what retail is thinking than the VIX is. The VIX is great for fund managers, institutional managers, but I think Bitcoin specifically tells you a ton more about what retail wants to, whether retail is risk on or not. If this cold winter in crypto holds for a little bit longer, I think that might be a signal that institutional is going to be following that trade.
Let's try and take stock, if we can, of what's happening with the AI trade, just because I know
20 years before 1900, man.
We have heavy exposure in terms of conversation over the last many months. I want to zero in on that.
Delegates from 34 tribes.
Now, if you look at the hyperscalers, the pullbacks are not going to look that dramatic. You start to get down to NVIDIA, which is not on that. NVIDIA's down 4.5%. There now you're looking at it. And then you get more dramatic declines from what really has been the epicenter of the AI anxiety. We're sticking with the AI anxiety because that's what the market's going through. It's having like an anxiety attack over what's been going on with the spend and the debt and the bubble question. Steph, Broadcom, worst 3-day period since March of 2020. Oracle's at its worst 3-day period since May
Native
of
American
2022.
men like myself.
So last week, Oracle and Broadcom both reported.
Santorio Hector, man, until y'all learn my story, man, I'm a Native American.
Conference calls really hit both stocks. And I will say, Oracle, that stock got hit because they didn't address the finance issue, the debt that they are incurring to spend on all of this CapEx. At RPO, the 438% year over year and grew 15% sequentially. Those are great numbers, but they didn't address the elephant in the room, in my opinion, and the stock at 33 times earnings is really expensive. Now, on Broadcom,
I gotta get back to the market, y'all. Learn to invest, man. Get ready. And just in case, like, I don't know, shit might go ziggity boo like mid 2026. I'm about to put some crazy plays down. Just in case.
These are the kinds of opportunities, because when you look through the fundamentals are very, very strong. They signed up another custom